SR Fitness Podcast 365, episode 4 with Brandon Hepburn. How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, good, man. You?
I'm well, mate. I'd rather be where you are, but we'll touch on that in a second, mate. What's the weather there at the moment?
It's good. It's getting warmer. It's getting warmer. Last night was the first night where I was just like, I got fucking sweaty. It was horrible. It was
really?
Good.
You're out in Dubai, aren't you?
Yeah.
How long have you been there now?
I got here on the 31st of December, I think.
Yeah.
I think so. Straight after Christmas, I pretty much had my flight, and then I left. Yeah.
So are you technically classed as an influencer?
No.
I didn't think you're allowed out there at the moment, unless you are.
Man, I don't think anyone's. I love that. I think there was a girl on the BBC, wasn't there?
It was,
and
yeah.
I was just like, oh, okay. And she's just killed everyone in the fitness industry.
Yeah, no. I'm not here to slay other people, but I did check out one of her fitness classes, I think they're called, and I'm not quite sure what she was up to put it that way. So
no, oh god, no. So just stay in your own lane. Just do you.
Yeah, let's concentrate on you and not slay other people. That's not a way to start, is it? So let's track back right from the start. Then, how did you get into fitness in general?
I've always been my family's always been very sporty, always very active. I started playing. Oh, it was a lie. My mum always had horses, so I grew up horse riding from the very beginning. With my sister and all that sort of stuff. We used to live my mum used to manage a yard and things like that. So straight away, I was just around animals and horses. Then I started doing that. Started to get a little bit competitive in that. Nothing crazy. And then my sisters used to compete. And then when my parents split, my mum moved close to the river. And she was like, yeah, I'm gonna get some boats. And I was thinking, yeah, it's 11-year-old, we're getting jet skis, and she came out with 2 kayaks, and I was like, oh, this is shit. I was expecting yeah, I was speed boats, the whole lot. And I was like, okay, cool. It's a good way to kind of get on the water, do something different. And then a guy that lived next door to us just turned out to be an ex-GB athlete, and he just taught me how to kayak, pretty much.
Right.
And then ever since then, I followed kayaking. I dabbled with rugby and then just kind of prioritized kayaking. And that was it. And then I made the GB team when I was 14. So from 14 kind of up until 18, 19, I was traveling, competing with that. And then I worked with a supplement brand at the time that kind of just supported me through my kayaking. And they were like, oh, can you come and do a photo shoot just to kind of for website stuff? And I was like, yeah, sure, no worries. And then everyone there was really fit, attractive guys and girls. And I was like what do these people do? What do you do for a living? And they were like, oh, we're personal trainers. And I was like, I'm going to do that.
So with just touching on obviously GB and stuff, that's brilliant that you've had that in your armory. Financially, was that a career that you can make money? Is it?
I think you could 100% if you followed it through. It's very much it is a lifestyle sort of thing. Even when you get to the Olympic level and things like that, it wasn't good money, but the sport was free. So technically your day-to-day life is free, but actually if you wanted your food and your living and all that sort of stuff, you're not getting much of an income.
Sure.
I think any professional sport, unless you're at the top sometimes, it's not the best income. No, if you want to do it and that you love it inside out, 100% you could do it. Like anything else, if you want to earn money from it, you could. But for me, I just kind of lost the spark for it as well. So yeah.
As you're getting older, different interests come in and stuff.
Yeah, that's it. There was no real, something fizzles out slowly. I don't know what it was. There's no if someone said go do it now, 100%. I still love the sport. Yeah, I think I just lost my drive towards it.
Sure. No, that makes sense. So then fast forwarding slightly then. So you had these conversations with the people that were there, you saw maybe their physiques and you saw that they were personal trainers. What happened there then? Did you kind of have a light switch that you were like, yeah, actually, I want to do that?
Yeah, pretty much. So I literally just kind of I was like, how do you do this? You go to school, whatever it is, and then you get hold of your local kind of I don't know, what's nearest PT academy, right? Sort of thing. So I literally did that for, it's 6 weeks, right? 6 weeks course.
If you do the intense one or you do it online or what?
That's it, yeah. So I think I did the 6 weeks. It was just literally every day for 6 weeks pretty much. And then I was working part-time at Hollister and in a nightclub. And that was it. And then after that, literally the local kind of gyms, like all kind of came in, do you want to work for us sort of thing? And there was a new Pure Gym opening. And I was like, yeah, I'll do that. And then that was it. I was straight in the door at a Pure Gym. And that was the rest is history.
So with Pure Gym, obviously it's very well known that you actually get quite a lot of bang for your buck. Is that the saying? Like,
Yeah.
obviously it's a cheap kind of commercial gym. However, they actually are decent gyms. Did that reflect your PT price?
Do you know what? It's funny because obviously when I scaled and then moved to London, a part of me thought actually I didn't need to move to London to push my pricing up. It all comes down to, are you good? Do you get results? It's that simple. I think no matter where you are, of course you have to charge your demographic, your location and things like that, but you should never undervalue who you are.
Yeah.
But I don't think it does. I don't think it does. I think initially, if you asked me probably a year ago, even I would say, yeah, 100%. But now I don't think so. I think Pure Gyms we've seen even over the last year how phenomenal they've been. I've actually been to some Pure Gyms. I'm like, this is nuts. Like, this is really good. They've got even CrossFit sections. They've got tracks, everything. I'm like, this is insane. It's nuts.
It's mad, honestly. There's actually one where I'm based in sort of Cambridge area, and Cambridge is quite a wealthy place. And there's gyms like your David Lloyd's and stuff that are 90, £100 a month. And they're charging, I think, £14.99 standard membership in the center of Cambridge. And they've got like 3,000 members or something stupid. It's mad. And like you say, the quality's still there. You can pay for some budget gyms and you kind of get what you pay for. But they've just kind of gone, now sod that. We'll give you state-of-the-art kit and just keep you at a nice steady price, which is decent.
Yeah, 100%. I think people as well, like the way that I always see it is if you're, say, for example, you're a CEO and you built your business from scratch or something like that, whatever it may be, you appreciate and you respect money a lot. So if you just need a gym, like, why are you going to pay £90 to go to a David Lloyd when you can pay £25 and go to Pure Gym and get exactly the same equipment, quality trainer still? I'm like, well, it's a done deal, isn't it? Sort of thing.
Exactly.
The only difference, I can't go for a swim.
Yeah, that's it. That's it, exactly. I think I might get some like David Lloyd haters on this, but I've been to a few and I'm sat there thinking like, it's more of like a leisurely lifestyle. Like you'll go there and set your laptop up and do work from the cafe. And I think the benefit is I think that most of them have got creches and stuff. So I get it on that side of things. You can take your kids swimming, you can whack them in the creche while you go for a workout. But for everyday Joes, 9 times out of 10, the budget gyms have got everything you need and more.
Yeah. Everything when it comes down to environment as well. Like, I think if you're a young guy or girl, even under the age of 40, 50, I'm like, I wouldn't go to like a David Lloyd. You always do get an older demographic as well a lot of the time. And potentially, like you say, like parents and things like that. So actually kind of just go and look around them and see if that's where you'd actually want to spend hours out of your week.
Yeah, I think if you're grunting doing a deadlift in a David Lloyd, you might get a few. What's cracking here? Okay, cool. So you did PT in Pure Gym, and then I've spoken to a few people that are now online coaches, and they seem like it was quite just a generic transformation into moving into an online coach. It was never like set out, right, I want to be an online coach. It's just kind of happened. Is that the same for you?
Yeah, 100%. Like, I'll always say, like, if 2020 didn't happen sort of thing, the whole year of COVID, I'd still be on a gym floor. For sure. I generally love it. I think one-to-one coaching is never going to go out of date and things like that at all. People still need that one-to-one face-to-face interaction.
Sure.
But it did. I think as soon as social media evolves and technology evolves, you just start posting things online and people ask questions. And then people say, well, can you coach me? I can't come to you, but can you coach me? I'm like, okay, let's try this. Like, see if it works. And that's literally how it happened, I guess, really. And then obviously when we couldn't work last year, we couldn't go to the gym for 16 weeks initially, wasn't it? Something ridiculous. Like,
yeah, mad.
I'm like, I moved back with my mum. I'm like, right, I have to pay you rent. I was in central London. None of my one-to-ones were like doing the whole online thing. They didn't really get it.
Yeah.
So actually I was like, well, I'm gonna have to pay you rent. I've got to eat still. So we've got to do something. And that was it.
100%. And I was in a similar boat to yourself. It was kind of like all my stuff stopped, and you can either bury your head in the sand and almost give up and go, you know what, can't earn any money or whatever, because we didn't know how long it was going to be. So it was like, I'm just going to take 2 months off and do nothing. Or you can be proactive and go, right, actually, how can I still service my clients? And obviously we all work for a reason. We all have bills to pay and earn money. So you need to find that balance. And, you know, you've gone from like online training to live workouts, and you just have to, you know, think outside the box, I think is the best way to look at it. So was it similar to you? Like, I was the same sort of boat. I didn't really look at online coaching as the thing. I think 5-6 years ago, it wasn't a thing. And it was similar to me. Like, I had a friend reach out who lived up in, I think it was Scotland at the time. And he was like, can you help me? I was like, what, you're going to travel like 6 hours? And he was like, no, just like send me stuff over like WhatsApp. And it kind of just evolved from there. I was like, actually, this is doable. And then obviously all the systems come about and stuff like that. And it's moved with the times. And as much as COVID's been terrible and I'd never want to go through it again, it's not even over, but go through it again. The one thing I've taken from it is like my business model's just flipped 180 to a completely different, similar to you, I guess. Well, now you're out in Dubai.
Yeah, that's it. Like, at the end of the day, like anything that gets thrown your way, that's especially over the last 10 months, 11 months, we've all just had to adapt. And I think it is for the best. Like, we all knew technology, social media, the internet was taking over, right? It was, no one was looking at newspapers to get information. We were looking on our phones. So it's just fast forwarded things by 5-10 years sort of thing. That's kind of it, really. So we just have to adapt at a faster rate. And like you say, systems, everything like that, like you learn as you go. You're like, okay, cool, this is an effective way, this isn't so hot, things like that. Like, if I did what I did now in the first lockdown, I'd be like, oh, this is brilliant. But it's just fine-tuning things as you go and just fucking up, trying something different, and just keep rinse and repeat.
100%. I completely agree. Learning on the job is something we haven't really had a choice, but we've had to do. And, you know, there's things that have gone wrong. I've done live workouts and they've not saved, and it's just been nuts. But like with systems, you trial and error and stuff like that. And I think it's really beneficial. So, and I completely agree with you in terms of like, everything's just fast forwarded like 5 years technology wise, which kind of brings me on to my next point quite nicely with regards to Dubai. Like, I went out there in November time, and I kid you not, I just think they're so ahead of the game. Even just things like all the electric cars and like the buildings, and everything's just so fast forward. And you come back and you realize that. And it just seems like the UK and maybe even Europe in general, just so far behind.
Yeah, that's it. And you know what? I think it is just, but I think the same with, because obviously I've got a lot of family in Australia. And I kind of think that when I go there, because it's such a new country on the grand schemes of everything, they can kind of be like, well, we're going to take ideas from here, here, and here, and just do this. Sort of thing. Because when you go to Australia, it's very much like, it's kind of 50% America and 50% European.
Yeah.
So it's even the way they name things and stuff like that. And you're like, well, that's cool, because you took the good concept of there and things like that. And Dubai have just kind of just scaled that on an extreme level, I guess. That's all it is. And it works. It really works. It is just a very efficient country, I guess. Or I don't even know it's a country. It's not even a country, is it? So,
yeah, don't judge me on geography, man. I ain't got a Scooby.
No, not a chance.
So, did you sort of do similar to myself? Like, you went out for a couple of weeks. Was that with the intentions to see if it was possible to move out there full time, or was it just, I'm going on a little break, and then you fell in love with it?
Yeah, I had no intentions of being here, man. Like, if you said to me, even like, honestly, I think even middle of December, I don't think I planned to be here. It was literally like 2-3 weeks. I was like, weigh up pros and cons, go sort of thing. I came out here in November, I think purely because I was like, fuck, is this really happening again? Like a second lockdown? There's no way. I was initially going to go to Scotland because gyms are up there to start off with. So everything seemed okay. So I was going to go up there for a couple of weeks, just see out the lockdown, because we all got told the 3rd of December. So like, right, there's an end date.
Yeah.
So I was going to go up there, train. A couple of girls upstairs said, oh, maybe don't come. We might go into a lockdown. I was like, oh, fucking hell, I just brought a train ticket, like, Jesus. And then it obviously went into lockdown. So I was just chatting with my mum. I was like, this is when the hype was going around.
Yeah.
So I was like, screw it. Let's go. 3 weeks, 2 weeks, whatever it was. And I did. I fell in love with it. I genuinely fell in love with the place. I think it helped a lot more that everyone was here. I think if I just came out and I didn't know anyone and things like that, I don't know if I'd be here.
Sure.
But honestly, yeah, I didn't think I'd like it either. I didn't. I thought it was just going to be rich. I thought it was like gold just dumped into a desert sort of thing.
Yeah.
I didn't think I'd like it. I didn't expect it to be what it is. And it is generally incredible. It's generally a lovely place as well.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate that they've got that like stigma to it now. Like I genuinely have been speaking to people like I've been put off going because of the noise around it. And I'm like, obviously in 6 months time, hopefully that'll all go now. And you've still got to go experience it if you haven't, because it's another world really. So the move out there, was it more lifestyle or was it a business decision?
Honestly, pure more, I'd say like 60% business.
Yeah.
Purely because I kind of like, obviously with online coaching, you can be based anywhere. And this is where it gets a bit like, I generally wasn't, I think if I look back, I wasn't happy where I was in the UK. I was living in London because that's where my PT was. I moved back to London because obviously I was thinking gyms would reopen, things like that. I never went back to the gym when they did open because everything was online for me already. So I was like, why am I in London paying this money and feeling, I don't think I've ever felt so down in my life, especially like I've only realized that more coming here. I was like, I was fucking broken. And that was it really. I wanted to change. I was going to move in the new year anyway. I was planning to go to Manchester or Liverpool because all my friends are up north. Sure. Good gyms. My coach was initially based up there. So there was going to be a move, but I didn't think it was going to be here. No. And then obviously talking to people out here when I was here in November, the perks of moving your business out here is going to pay off in the long run for sure. And like, you know, like Dubai is very good for networking. It's very good for meeting people. It's quite nice because it's the center of the world in a sense.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you do want to go to like Australia, Indonesia, things like that, it's halfway there, halfway to Europe. It works out quite nicely. So, but the lifestyle here is lovely as well. And it is good for, I'm happier here, put it that way. So
that's what it's all about. And again, just touching on it, like I think what a lot of people have found in the last 12 months is like happiness is kind of like key. Yes, we all need to earn money, but if you're earning loads of money doing something you hate, I don't know, I'd swap that for doing something I love and earning a little bit less. Do you know what I mean? There is a balance. I'm not saying go quit your job and, you know, go do what you want to do and earn no money, but there is a balance that if you can find something that maybe doesn't earn as much as being a broker in London, but you can still earn a steady wage and actually enjoy what you do, you can't put a price on that if you ask me.
No, that's it. And also I think if you generally love what you do and you're happy to wake up every morning, you'll earn more than you think.
Exactly. That was the motto that I kind of was toying with, because I was in fitness, then went into recruitment, chasing the money as a 20-year-old kid or whatever. And yet I was earning good money, but the only day I enjoyed was payday. And I was like, I can't carry on like this. And my problem was like I was dipping my foot in the water, like, oh, maybe I should go back to fitness. Like, but how am I going to earn this sort of money? And it came to a point that I was just like, you know what, sod it. Like, happiness was more important than money. And someone actually said to me, and I can't remember who it was, but they were like, just enjoy what you do and the money will come. And that's kind of what I've lived with. So obviously just touching on London then, and you mentioned like you wasn't in a good place. I think London's great, but you can experience it in two different ways. I like going to London, enjoying London, then coming back. But I think living in London, everyone has this idea of like the London life, like earn loads of money, you go out drinking on Tuesday night. But from what I've seen, it's not what it's hyped up to be.
No, like initially, do you know what? Like I moved there as a trainer. I was like, cool, I'm gonna network, things like that. 100%. Very good if you want a trainer there. You can literally, you're 2 streets away from someone you want to train with or network with. Incredible. You meet clients-wise are phenomenal. What do you do? I'm a CEO here, I'm a businessman here, and things like that, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
But you get caught up in, I think it's the hustle and bustle. It's the fact that you can't go anywhere without seeing a human being. Like you feel like you're on top of the whole time. It is a busy, busy place. There's a reason why it's like, where is it? London, Paris, New York, things like that. That's why it's that one of those places. It is full on. I think you can do it for a few years. I think like in that kind of like mid-20 age where you kind of want to hustle and bustle. You want to go out, have a good night, things like that, spend some money. But long term, no, it does eat at you a little bit. I found that.
Yeah, definitely. And forgive me if I'm wrong, but if you mentioned when you were growing up, it was more like horses, stables and stuff. They're probably quite remote locations, are they not? And like the rivers and stuff, it's quite quiet. So then moving to the big city, as they call it, Must have been
Yeah.
a big change.
Yeah, 100%. And it's funny how that's kind of where I want to go further down the line as well. I want to go back to the countryside, and it's just, yeah, it's like I love greenery, I love free space and things like that. So I think initially when you're young, you think you want something like, I want London, things like that, because it's like, and I'm like 100%. I think everyone should do it of some form just to know what you do want from life.
Yeah.
But yeah, I clearly don't.
I completely agree. I had that opportunity as well. So when I was coming out of fitness, I kind of hit a bit of a glass ceiling when I was about 20. I did the whole like recruiters contacted me, and I went to London on like a 2-day recruitment drive to try get a job. And I went there, and as I was there in my suit on the tube and whatnot, I was like, yeah, this is the life, like hustle and bustle, like you say. And then I got offered a position, and I verbally accepted it. And I went down the next week to find a location, like to live. And as I was there, I was like, you know what, this ain't for me. Like the idea of it's great and like living in London and stuff, but the reality of it is like £2,000 rent for a sales position is stress in itself before you've even taken the job. And I just didn't want it. Do you know what I mean? Like I just came away from it, and I'm so glad I did, because it's changed me massively. And like you say, headspace and being positive and stuff. And I know that's something you kind of push on your socials, isn't it, about being in a positive mind space and stuff? And is that from previous experiences that you've had?
Yeah, 100%. I think it's just becoming self-aware and knowing what you want as well. And actually, like, it's so easy to get caught up in so much bullshit nowadays, so much bullshit. And actually, like, half of it's not fucking real. Like, as well. And even here, man, like, everyone's like Dubai. I'm like, oh yeah, like Lambos and shit going around. I'm like, dude, you can pick up one for like 600 dirhams for 24 hours. I'm like, it's probably not even theirs.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? And things like that. So I think we get caught up in all that sort of stuff, and
Insta reality thing.
Yeah, that's it. And I think, like, I never believed in, do you know what? If you asked me a year ago, 2 years ago, like mental health and things like that, I never believed in it. I thought, just fucking grow up, sort yourself out, like, and things like that. And then I had that weird thing. Like, I woke up one night, sweats, shaking, all this sort of stuff. I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, what is this? And I went down to like the doctors and things like that. And they were like, you had a panic attack. Like, you had an anxiety attack. And I was like, nah, that's not real. Like, that's not a real thing. Yeah. And ever since then, like 2 years, I'm like, horrible anxiety. And it's only London, that's sort of saying, like, even then, like London I don't think every day I had anxiety. And I didn't realize that until I moved here. And I was like, when someone's just gone and that weight has been lifted. Sure. And didn't even know how anxious I was until I wasn't. And I was just like, man, that's it. Yeah.
I completely agree. I was in the same sort of boat. I was like, I'm always like happy, and like I don't have mental health issues and stuff like that. I'm not saying I do, don't get me wrong. I have down days, but until you kind of look back and you go, shit, like back in the day when I was in recruitment stuff, I was actually miserable. Like, I don't think I went as far as like anxiety and things like that, but it's only when I was speaking to one of my mates who kind of was a big advocate on the mental health side of things. We just went for a stroll, and I was like, yeah, I've never really suffered with it. And then we carried on talking, and he like light bulb moment. And he was like, you've just been talking for half an hour. You've actually had some like mental health struggles in your life, but you just haven't realized. And I was like, shit, yeah, you're right. Like, because I wasn't crying and stuff, I thought I was fine. But in reality, you do have them issues. You just don't always voice them.
Yeah, that's it. And I think also as well, mental health's getting pushed to the extreme now as well, where actually it's like, oh, just be happy in who you are and things like that. I'm like, yeah, 100%. But you can still sort your own shit out as well sometimes. Yeah. I think it does get...
There is a balance.
Yeah, there is. And it is just kind of actually just knowing that, like, also you don't have to be to the extreme to think, oh, I'm struggling. Like, dude, like, it's like being, oh, I'm not motivated. I must have mental health. I'm like, fuck off. No, you don't. You're just not motivated. There's days where you just wake up and you feel shit. It's not you're broken. It's not like you need antidepressants, whatever it may be. You just have those down days. So I think it's like anything, isn't it? Things get very quick to put labels on and all this sort of stuff. But I think it just comes down to self-awareness. Like, that for you, like you just felt like, well, I'm not like broken sort of thing. I don't have like anxiety, things like that, but I just feel I'm just not happy in this time period of my life. Could be 6 months, could be a year, could be a couple of weeks. But it's just being aware that you aren't happy in that moment in time.
Absolutely, mate. I couldn't echo that anymore. I think it takes a brave person to stand up on a platform and go, not everyone's got mental health. Like, you need a James Smith jobby. But I think sometimes you got to look at it and go, look, you haven't got mental health issues. You just had a bad day, mate. Like, go to sleep, wake up the next day, and you'll be right as rain. And I think, like I say, it takes a brave person to go on a platform and just bellow that. But sometimes you've got to look at it in the grand scheme of things and just say, look, you know, you didn't have a good day yesterday, but today's a new one, kind of thing, rather than straight away labeling it as you must have issues.
Yeah, 100%. Someone asked me that today. Someone said, oh, why did you do what you do? Why did you become a trainer? And I swear to God, every trainer answers the same question. It's like, to help others. I'm like, oh, 100%. Like, now I enjoy helping others. But initially, I didn't do it to help anyone. Like, it's like, as selfish as that sounds. I'm like, I went from a sporting background. I'm like, I feel lost because I've just given up something that I've done all my life. It's all I know. And I felt like sport and a discipline defines me. So I need to keep that going. So actually, I need to continue to train, but then I need to earn money. So what can I do? I was like, oh, I'll be a personal trainer. You know, they get to train people. I get to work out. I have a label for myself again, which is what I wanted, I guess.
Yeah.
Then you're like, and then I fell in love with coaching. Then I fell in love with the process.
Definitely.
So initially, it kind of starts off being selfish, and then it evolves.
Same with LinkedIn. I don't know if you've used LinkedIn before. When I was in recruitment, it used to drive me mad, and I wanted to say something, but it's quite a professional platform, so you can't. Yeah. But the same sort of thing. They're like, oh, I got into recruitment because I love helping people, getting them new jobs. I'm like, there is an element of satisfaction when you do help someone and they get their dream job and stuff, but you're in it for money, mate. Like,
commission, bro.
Be real. You know what I mean? Be real. And I think people would appreciate that more if you're a bit more real. No one goes into recruitment with that sole intentions of, I just want to help everyone. I'll do it for free then. Do you know what I mean? But it's not the case. Like, you're in it because you know you can earn a good whack. And yes, after that, like you say, you start loving coaching, you start loving helping people to get their jobs, knowing that it's paying you at the same time. So it's about being real. So that was quite deep, wasn't it?
That's it. Light up a little bit.
Let's move on to something a little bit more lighthearted that I think you've started. The Kiwi Gang.
I swear to God.
About? Come on.
I swear to God, I
do it as well.
I swear to God, do you know what it was? It was pure laziness. I remember I was like, I haven't had kiwis in ages. I was like, oh, I really fancy one, but I just couldn't be bothered to chop it up. And I was like, I couldn't and scoop it out and all this sort of stuff. So I said to him, I looked at my mum. This is when I was staying with her for so long. I was just like, should I just eat it? And I was like, I don't know what it's going to taste like. Yeah. And that was it. And I was like, no, it doesn't really taste of anything. And then ever since then, I just kind of did it. And I posted it once. And then I think I just did it because everyone's creeped out by it, to be honest. Everyone's like, oh, how the fuck are you eating the skin? I'm like, dude, it's like, why do you eat the skin of an apple? I'm like, why don't you just peel that? Like, the same sort of thing. It's just a bit furry. And that's it. Yeah. And then ever since then, I think it's just because people think it's creepy. So I just do it now. And every day
there are obviously tiny health benefits to it in terms of like the nutrients in the skin. However, I'm the same as you. I'm like, for the sake of peeling it, there's fucking juice everywhere. Like, just smash it down. Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like, and I'm the same. I can't be bothered to cut it and scoop it and stuff. I'm sure there's a tool out there that does it all for you, but get it down. Yeah, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's it. And that was literally it. And then, ever since then, I just kind of just kept it going for a giggle, to be honest. And now it's kind of just fallen into routine. It's like, oh, post-workout food, I'll have a kiwi.
Yeah, a bit of fruit after workout, absolutely. Yeah, and now, obviously, all your clients are posting them back, aren't they?
Yeah, it's hysterical. It's it. A few of them definitely do it once now. Well, not doing that shit again. That wasn't nice, but...
Kiwi Gang, you've started something there, mate. Sticking with food, we've both got something in common that we've both tackled the 10K food challenge. What was your synopsis of that? That's a big word for me, synopsis. What's your thoughts on that?
Do you know what? It's really easy. It's really easy.
You think?
Yeah, I think I planned it out a little bit. I think if I planned it better, I could have do you know what? I could have done. I think if I planned it properly, like really properly, I think I could do 15 to 20 quite comfortably.
Oh yeah, there's a challenge for you, mate. You've heard it now.
But like even then, I was having like normal meals. I think I did like 2 cream of rice meals still. I had some bagels, jam, banana, things like that. I kept it pretty tidy. I think I made 2 cream of rice meals and bagels that were 2,000 calories. So I was like, there's 4,000. That was easy. Then I had some 4 Sainsbury's jam donuts. They were like 1,000. Ridiculous. And then I had a Domino's, which came out to like 4. So I was like, oh, I only needed a bit of ice cream to top it off. That was it.
Yeah, I think I did think about that. I was like, let's stick with like the cream of rices and stuff. But I don't know what it is. Like, I can't eat that much. Like, so I'll do, for example, wherever it is, I've got this in a minute, cream of rice, pre-workout meal. I've got 75 grams, and it kind of like does me. Like, I'm like, that's enough. So
Yeah.
knowing I'd have to at least double, if not triple that, to be able to get to 1,000 calories, I just went complete dirt, and honestly, mate, it ripped me off.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, isn't it? It's kind of like, I think you do have to like, almost like sweet savory, kind of like junk decent sort of thing.
Yeah.
Otherwise, like if I just had to do like, I've seen some of them online, and it's literally just like cereal, Pop Tarts, cookies. I'm like, oh
How's
man,
me?
I would feel. Oh man, I would feel.
Me?
I would feel so sick. I think like even the next day, I was like, just give me a stir fry, give me some vegetables, like.
Yeah, the next day, I kid you not, I had tin of tuna, a protein shake, a protein bar, and a banana all day. And even that was a struggle, but I knew I had to get some protein down me.
Yeah, God, no, that's it. I think appetite's one thing I'm all right with. I can push a lot of food down, but it's funny because like when it comes to dieting, I'm like my food has to go low. Like I have to be starved to shift off body fat as well. So one end of this spectrum sort of thing. I have to shovel in a lot of food to kind of grow, and then to get lean, drop it, just go.
That down to like muscle mass, metabolism as well.
Yeah, that's it. Like, I think I finished my last like just shoot prep. I was like doing 1700 and things like that, and that's low. And then I finished on like I think on my training days I was like 5.4 before.
Crikey.
So completely different end of this. And I was like doing cardio pretty much every day as well. Like yeah.
So onto yourself now at the moment. Like where are you at the moment? Are you working towards that? Or are you just keeping yourself in nick?
Yeah, so like just I came back. I was obviously supposed to go back on stage the end of last year, but then we were like, screw this. Ended up doing a photo shoot, and I just dragged in a bunch of clients to do that as well. So that was nice. And it was quite good because I got too fat. I did get too fat. So it was good. It tidied me up a lot. And it kind of was nice to see how much tissue I had, what I had, where I needed to work on, all that sort of stuff.
Sure.
And then do you know what? I stayed lean. I did stay lean. Like, and even now I'm still pretty lean. Like, and that was in September, my shoot. So the mission is just to grow. I switched coaches when I got here, which is nice to mix it up a little bit.
Sure. Based there as well, isn't it?
Yeah. Cam's based over here, which is nice. It's just a nice, fresh approach. And it is just Operation Grow, just to keep growing. I might, there's always going to be shows and things like that. So I'm in no real rush. I think I'll get lean for like October, November time, just to do like some photo shoots and things like that. If I want to step on stage, then I might, but otherwise I think I'll probably even push it towards like summer next year even.
Sure. Have a good off season if you like, and
yeah,
package you can bring next year. Just touching on your coaching stuff and being out there, I think that's really key, because he gets everything from like weather to like what times you can train. And talking of training, like that B1 gym's a joke, and I remember when I went there, I was like, this place is unbelievable.
Yeah, it's just the atmosphere, because I think people think it's like mind-blowing equipment wise. I'm like, it's really not. Like, I think it's because I got spoiled because I was at Muscleworks, Orpington, or Kings.
Yeah.
So actually you're like, well, actually they're probably two of the best gyms in the UK or South, until you go up to Rotherham and you get Ultraflex and things like that, and Provacy and stuff like that. The UK has phenomenal gyms, like probably there's some of the best in Europe, even in the world, I would say. It's just the environment here. That's all it is.
I found that, like you say, when you're there, the kit's nothing you haven't seen before, but it's just the environment. Even like upstairs with the shop and the cafe and like the people that are there. And I don't know what it was. Like I walked in there, and when I went to buy, I was probably like 85 kilo, and I genuinely was like one of the smallest lads in that gym. It's carnage. I was like, but just having them around you, I don't know what it is. Like self-consciously, you feel like you can lift more, if that makes sense. So it's kind of like you're not trying to keep up with the big boys or anything like that when you got Big Larry in there and all sorts, but it's more like just the environment's just so like pumping that you want to work out, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's it. And it is like that's all it is. It is the environment, and this all comes down to it. Like anything, if you want to do anything and be good at anything in life, surround yourself, put yourself in the right environment. It's like if you surround yourself with 5 smokers, you'll probably be the 6th sort of thing.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
the same.
definitely.
Like, if you hang around with Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, all these like multi-billionaires, well, you're not going to be skint, are you? Put it that way.
Yeah,
Like you're going
yeah.
to earn,
Pick
you might
something
not be a
up.
multi-billionaire, but you might earn a lot of money, sort of thing. And it's
Sure.
like anything.
100%. I want to throw it out there and just find out because I've done a potluck. When I got to Dubai in November, they were doing like some free week at B1. I was buzzing. I went in and I was like, what's this going to set me back? What's the
Yeah.
membership there? You a member now, yeah?
Yeah. So do you know what? Because I haven't got my bank account here yet, I think I'd set up I don't even think they do direct debits. I think it is just like what it seems like in Dubai is you buy things in big blocks.
Yeah.
So I bought 3 months and that was about 260 quid. So what's that divided? It's quite expensive gym membership. It's like an 80 pound
Yeah.
gym membership.
Okay.
Yeah. It's
I
funny.
was going to go around that. I thought a month would be about 400 AED, which is what, 100 quidish.
Yeah. So it
Oh.
is. Yeah. It's funny here because some things are like gyms seem to be quite expensive on the, like, if you want to go to a decent gym sort of thing. But other things are like dirt cheap. That's the thing. It's kind of like, it's a bizarre, it's one extreme or the other. There's no kind of like happy medium.
Yeah, I agree. I found that as well. What was the other thing? The other thing I found as well was like the mall. The mall is incredible, but it's just 20% on top of anything. Like literally anything's just 20% more.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was going there and I was in Dubai, so I was like, I've got to bring something back to the missus and I've got to buy something like, and I was paying for it. Like it's 20% cheaper online, but I'm just doing it for the sake of being in Dubai Mall. It's mad.
Yeah, mate, it's it. Do you know what? I think it's spectacular. Like downtown Dubai, I think it's stunning. I think it's brilliant. I'm glad I don't live up that way. Like, because it's,
You need the marina.
yeah, it's just too much, like up that way. And like you say, like the mall's absolutely fucking mind-blowing, like absolutely mind-blowing. But you're like, dude, like half the shops, more than half, like 95% of shops, not a fucking clue what they are.
Yeah.
I was like, there's Zara, I'm safe.
Yeah.
Like, that's literally it.
Even then, I'd hope that maybe a friend or a family member might come out to see me and bring me a suitcase full of stuff because you're just going to save so much money.
Yeah, I don't think I'd buy. No, I think like Nike and Adidas and all that sort of stuff's about the same price. But but I don't think everything else is ridiculous.
It's like Fendi kids, like infant Fendi, like a £500 t-shirt that they're going to grow out of in 2 weeks. It's just ludicrous.
Yeah, and that is literally where they earn their money though. It's tourism and things like that. So, but yeah, it's some things are ridiculous. It's like, it's even food here as well. Like some things you're like, when you first come here, like the money seems like monopoly money. So you're like, well, I don't know how much it is here. Like, let's go and see what it sets you back. And then you start to get like, okay, cool. But yeah, it's little things like berries you would have experienced. Like, I'm like a tub of like blueberries, like this big.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, it's like £7.
It's
I'm like, well, that's that then. Blueberries are done. But then frozen blueberries are exactly the same price. So you're like, oh, okay, we'll just get them instead.
Yeah, I did that. It was almost like calculating in your head when you're about to buy something, right? This would be about £10 or whatever. So it's like, but I suppose you just learn as you're there, don't you? So with regards to Dubai, then, is that for the foreseeable, or are you thinking maybe 6 months?
3 to 5 years.
The long term.
Yeah, purely because I've moved the whole business over here. So I've registered the business over here. So obviously you do have to pretty much prove and stay here for a period of time. As soon as you kind of become resident and things like that, then the business is technically established here, and then you can keep it here, you can run away, sort of thing. So that leaves me quite nicely. I'm 25 now, so actually in 3 to 5 years, 30, and then actually it's a really nice time period in my life where I can hustle and bustle here, sort of thing, for the next kind of 5 years. And then when I get to 30, I'm like, well, actually, I might want a family and things like that, and I probably would move back to the UK potentially. Yeah.
Definitely. So just do your thing, do your graft, enjoy your late 20s where you are. Why not? And then see what happens, I guess.
Yeah, that's it. Wing it.
What about on a business front? On a personal side of things, like, is there an aim in mind? You want to get onto a certain stage or a certain physique?
I just want to keep growing. I just want to test my body, get strong. I think, do you know what? When it comes to like bodybuilding, it's like, it's always the same feedback, right? Like if you go on stage, whatever it is, like bigger, better condition, posing. That's literally it. You bring those three, you'll do well. But that's literally it. I just enjoy bodybuilding right now. I've got the spark for it again, which is, I was surprised. Like, even for a period, I think it was maybe the lockdowns when we were trying to run around tier systems, trying to train and things like that. And like, but now that I'm like established, I'm getting stronger again, things like that. I'm loving the process of it. So it's just to keep growing. I think that's the thing. It's like, if someone says, where do you want to be? And like, what's the focus of business and training? I'm like, just grow. That's literally it. Grow the business, grow myself. Boom, simple.
And just enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
Definitely. I completely agree. And did you find that when you went out there the first time around, because lockdown was still relatively fresh, it was the second lockdown, wasn't it? I think this is almost feels like normal life now. It's a bit weird. I think when we get let out, it'd be like a weird kind of sensation of like, you can shake someone's hand when you meet them. Like now you're like, stand back. Do you know what I mean? But do you think when you went out there, for me, it was just like a bit of fucking normality. Like everything was just so like covered and like you have to stay on. And I went out to there and it was just like, you can have a conversation and like say hello to someone without them like measuring if you're 2 meters apart.
Yeah. The first time, man, in November, I think because the whole time, even when we had the gyms open over that summer period for like 3 months, we still couldn't go to restaurants and stuff like that. Could we? Or maybe we could. I can't even remember now. Like,
Small
I think it was, and it was just, I think it's just where UK people felt so awkward. You felt so uncomfortable the whole time. But mate, like you say it out here, like you come and you get a haircut and you're like, fuck, like, I just get to sit down and just talk to a barber and just like have a haircut, and I get to go out for meals and just kick my feet up and things like that. It felt so nice that second lockdown. I think because it was going into winter as well, so it was like, I got some sun, things like that. It felt incredible. Everyone was out here. So everyone that I planned to meet at home and train, everyone was here. So I was like, I get to see everybody. Like all my friends are online. So it's like, oh my God, I actually get to meet you in real life. Like, it's great.
Sure,
that's it.
Definitely, mate. Well, I won't keep you much longer, mate, because I'm sure you want to go enjoy Dubai as I would when I was there. But yeah, I appreciate you coming onto the podcast, mate, sharing a little bit of your story. All the best with Dubai. I hope to get out there this year, whether I can or not, I don't know, but it's definitely a place that I will be visiting a lot in my lifetime. I know that for sure.
Buzzing, mate. It's it. I just need to upgrade, get a 2-bed place, and then you can come stay. It's fine.
Yeah, I'll be on the sofa, mate. Don't worry about no 2-bed. Don't worry.
No, sorted.
Yeah, top man, mate. I appreciate your time. You take care of yourself, and I'll speak to you again soon.
Will do, bud. Have a good one.
And you, buddy.